For today's lesson, we are going to be going over conflict resolution. Conflicts arise for all people, all situations, and at any time. What's important about today's lesson is learning strategies and approaches for solving conflict. Just a little overview of the stuff we're going to cover. The strategies and approaches I have come up with are going to be defining acceptable behavior in your environment, choosing a neutral location to solve your conflict, don't jump to conclusions, listen to everyone involved in the conflict, be open-minded and be ready to compromise, and always act decisively. So in order to define acceptable behaviors, before a conflict arises, what's very important is to decide what behaviors are expected of you in the environment you're in. This will reduce the chances of conflict and allow for you to understand your expectations. Next, when a conflict arises, what you should do is choose a neutral location. So remove yourself from the environment you feel might strike anger or conflict. And when solving the conflict, choose a neutral location to calm down and solve the conflict, usually somewhere separate than where the conflict arises. You never want to jump to conclusions. Don't ever assume that the other individuals involved are the ones at fault. You always want to look outside the box and consider all aspects of the conflict. This will be very beneficial in finding a solution. You also want to make sure you are listening to what all individuals have to say. It's always very important to hear their feelings and thoughts on this situation. It will provide you with clarity and understanding of, one, why this conflict arose, and two, allow you to find a solution in a more easy manner. You always want to be willing to make changes. Every time a conflict arises, it might not fall into your favor. You want to be very open-minded in a solution and be willing to make changes to the schedule. Lastly, you always want to act decisively. So you want to end the situation with a decision. You want to find a solution to the issue. You never want to leave any strings untied, meaning that you don't want to have any loose ends, and you want to make sure that everything is solved. So in the future, this will reduce the chance of conflict. And just a quick overview again, just a reminder, conflict happens everywhere at all different times, and being prepared and understanding of your options, it will reduce the effect of the conflict and allow that in the future when another conflict arises, you have the most appropriate approach in order to solve the conflict.